What's up, guys? It is April 20th. As usual lately, I gotta start out my video by apologizing for not uploading much. This month has kicked my ass dang near as much as COVID did last month. Work, basically, like, between the 2 weeks that I was off from work, they kind of switched over from what we've been doing, which is like not part-time, it was full-time still, but like we were honestly doing about 35 to 40 hours a week, and now we are back up to like complete full, like, balls to the wall production, even though there's all these shortages and stuff. All these other automakers are, like, you know, slowing down and cutting production and stuff like that. I don't work for Chrysler, but I build parts for them, so I guess we'll say, you know, I work for them or whatever. So Chrysler, among all this stuff, decides, you know what, we are going to ramp up production. We are going to build all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on both lines. So unfortunately, unfortunately, that's what I've been dealing with. Really needed those paychecks. It's night and day difference, you know, going from like 35 to 38 hours a week up to, like, you know, 70 plus. But anyways, that is one of the few, couple things that I've been dealing with this month. You know, just basically getting life going again back after COVID. Not to make it sound like that bad or whatever, but just, you know, getting things financially straight. We're planning our vacation for June. So that's been stressful because this is like, you know, booking a trip, you know, when you're a couple hours away to like a cabin or something, that's super easy. It's like, you know, renting a hotel or, you know, getting a hotel room or whatever. But, you know, booking flights and, you know, rental cars and, you know, a resort to stay at, stuff like that, and like getting all this stuff to like coordinate really sucks. It's been stressful. Now that we've done it, you know, it makes more sense. Things are a little bit easier and whatnot. But yeah. So, anyways, let's talk about today. Just got off work. Yesterday and like last month, it's been on average like 60, 70 degrees, sunny. You know, we've had a couple good thunderstorms. I spent the other day, Saturday, when I got off work, I spent like 3 hours, you know, doing some spring cleaning and yard cleanup out there. You know, cut the grass, you know, getting up a bunch of old leaves and stuff like that, and cleaning up, you know, junk out of the yard and stuff, you know, making the yard look nice. And this week I wanted to get some mulch and, you know, some flowers and stuff like that, plant some grass seed where the grass is messed up. I don't know if you can see in the video, it is pouring the snow. So we are in late April here, about to be May, a few days away, a couple weeks away from my birthday, and it's 35 degrees right now, and it is snowing like crazy. Yeah, it's really odd. And I don't know if I mentioned this in any of the other videos yet that I've posted. I don't think I have, because it was like right after COVID last time I posted. The car I'm in now is different. Well, it kind of looks the same because it's like the same seats as my other car. But the car I'm in now is actually my grandpa's old Lincoln. It's a 2009 Lincoln Town Car. When he bought this thing, like, it has never seen like snow. It was never even driven in rain or anything like that. Like, when they weren't driving it, like, they didn't park in the driveway. It was parked right in the barn. If it was, you know, parked for any, you know, extra amount of time, it had a cover on it and stuff like that. You know, it's been dealer service from day one. You know, he babied this car until, unfortunately, when he got sick, that's when they kind of, you know, this became their daily driver because it was easier to get in and out of for him than, you know, they had a F-150 as well, you know, so it sits higher. He's got to climb into it. But, you know, he passed away, and my grandma hated this car. You know, it's too big. Most women don't like these. You know, they love riding in them. They're comfy and, you know, plush and stuff. But as for driving them, they're big. You know, it's body on frame, so it drives different than, you know, your current types of vehicles. Her and her sister were driving it about 2 weeks after he had passed, and a car cut from the other lane to try to turn left, like across from them, and ended up actually, you know, basically, you know, my grandma and them hit this car. They had no choice. It wasn't their fault. And unfortunately, the insurance, well, I say fortunately, unfortunately, because she wanted to trade it in and get, you know, something smaller, like a Edge or something like that, or even a Fusion. But, you know, a dealer was only probably going to give you $5 or $6 grand for the car, if that. She totaled it. You know, the insurance company marked it as totaled. She got almost like $10,000, and I ended up buying the car back for like dirt cheap. So I will tell you guys that story here. I'm almost home, so I'm gonna get settled inside and stuff like that, and I'll be back. Okay, it's a couple hours later. I got home. I haven't made the next clip for this video yet. As you can probably see from the windows, it's straight wintertime. I'm switching cars around because I don't want to drive this car and get salt all over it. It is the end of April right now. My God. What is happening? Oh, great. I gotta get gas in the morning. Dang it. Well, hello, winter. Welcome back. It's been a while. Jeez. Snow. I don't want to see this. I just cut the grass 2 days ago. I'm at work on my lunch break. Still haven't made that clip, by the way. But I just wanted to make this clip. I'm about to go back in. Blizzard last night and this morning. And now it's like high 40s and sunny. I don't get it. Most of the snow's gone. There's like a little tiny bit.
Much later.
Alright guys, what's up? Continuing that clip finally. I just left work a few minutes ago. Okay, so anyways, my grandpa, you know, he loved that car. He bought it brand new, you know, had it. It's not fully loaded, but, you know, it's like the limited model, you know, with most of the bells and whistles that you can get. Not all of them. You know, he cherished the thing. You know, he took phenomenal care of it. You know, it sat in his barn, you know, dealer service, liberal oil change, you know, religious on oil changes. And so the car was babied. It never saw snow. Like, they never even drove it in the rain, you know, hand wash, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, treated the thing like it was like a Rolls Royce or something. That car is the same platform as, like, you know, the Crown Vics and the Grand Marquis, like my car. Then, you know, cars I like and, you know, have had a bunch of. So I've always really liked it. You know, of course, it's got the black leather interior, you know, heated seats, everything's power and automatic and all that good stuff. And, you know, I've always wanted that car. I've always hoped one day, you know, he would sell it to me or, you know, cut me a good deal on it or whatever. And right before he passed, they were, like, really wanting to get rid of it. Basically, like, as soon as he had, you know, because for a while, like, it did look up for him. Like, it looked like he was doing a lot better. It looked like he was, you know, coming back into himself and, you know, becoming more lively and stuff like that. So one of the things he wanted to do was trade that car in to get something for my grandma that was easier for her to drive, you know, with, you know, the modern features like the backup camera and the sensors and, you know, just all the nice amenities. And they're really, like, really old school, so they don't even know what half that stuff is. But, you know, anything newer would have been a lot easier for her to handle than that big car. luckily they never did. And then when he passed away, obviously the car and everything switched into her name. Her sister was visiting just to basically keep her company for a few weeks at her house, because she's never really been alone. And they were in town in Monroe on Telegraph. Well, this car whipped over, like they were side by side with another car, and the other car was slowing down because they were coming up towards some traffic in that lane. And then there was a car in the middle lane getting ready to turn, but they were like still driving, like they hadn't really slowed down too much. And then the car just whips over. I don't know if they thought that car that was next to my grandma and her sister, was slowing down for them to turn, because some people do that, but you have to make sure that there's clear, that it's clear in both lanes. If I stop in my lane, that doesn't mean the car that's, over here is going to stop, so you got to be very observant, when you try something like that. But anyways, the car, cut over to turn, and, my grandma and her sister ended up like clipping the back of it. It was like a Jeep, like a Cherokee or something like that. And, totaled the car out. I don't know if you guys can hear this rain, this snow, holy crap. So anyways, her insurance totaled the car out. They were okay, nobody was hurt. None of the airbags went off though, which was a cool thing. But car, really wasn't drivable. It was drivable, but it was, the one headlight was completely busted. The whole grill and all that stuff was pushed in. So it was just, you couldn't really drive it. So they pulled it into a little store that was right there, and the tow truck came and got it. But I had called, after I heard about it, see if they were all right, if they needed anything and whatnot. And then I had asked her, I was like, obviously I know that you don't plan on buying it back. I was like, but I explained it to her, how like the insurance buyback thing works. I was like, if they say it's totaled, they'll give you like an offer or whatever, like money, like a check or whatever. They'll give you a price that they'll pay you. And then there's also what's called a buyback, which is where they'll say, okay, we're going to cut you a check for like 10 grand and total the car out, but you can buy it back for, X amount of money. And then if you do that, you get to keep the car and the difference of the two. If they say you can buy the car back for 1,000 or, we'll total it out and give you 10,000. If you bought it back, they cut you a check for 9 and then you keep the car. So I explained to her how that works. I was like, let me know the price. I was like, I'd be really interested in buying it. And my original plan was to finally have a car that I can make into a death cart, which is, I'll put a picture right here if you guys don't know what it is. If you follow my other channel, you probably know that I've talked about it multiple times. Like, I really want to build one. So I was like, you know what? I was like, this car, it's wrecked in the front, so it's already damaged. It's not like I'm cutting up a car that, has a lot of potential or something like that. So that's really what the plans were going to be. I was like, I could get rid of the sling. I could build this thing and then get rid of the slingshot, because that essentially is like a slingshot, but even cooler in my opinion. Plus, it'd be sweet to say that I basically built this. I mean, I didn't build it, but you'll see what I mean with that picture. So a few days goes by, and my uncle calls me when I'm at work, and I threw my AirPod in or whatever, and I answer, and he's like, hey, your grandma just got off the phone with her insurance, they need an answer now, blah, 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 and, did you want to buy the car back? It's, this much. And he said, I think it was like 800, don't quote me on the exact price, but it was some oddball price, like $806 or like $826 or 46 or something like that. And I'm like, damn. And that's super cheap, but also at the same time, like, I was expecting it to be lower, I think, because I still hadn't seen the car. Like, I didn't know the damage. I didn't know, the level of what needed to be done to it. I just assumed the front end was just trash. Like, radiator, grill, hood, fenders, headlights, bumper support. I just assumed the thing was just really bad. So, I'm like, dang, and like, he's like, dude, we gotta know now. We pretty much need an answer like ASAP. They're waiting, because I guess the tow company that was holding the car, that like, examined it and stuff and gave like them a quote to fix it or whatever, they were like, it was over $100 a day for it to sit in their little like waiting yard thing or whatever. And mind you, this literally just a pit of gravel. Like, there's no grass or anything. It's just rocks and trash everywhere, and like 6 cars just parked like bumper to bumper. I mean, literally this much room between them. And there was room for like 30 more cars there. Like, they weren't, struggling. I'm like, damn, this place is ridiculous. I'm like, no wonder they're damn near going out of business. I mean, the place looks so run down. But anyways, basically, the insurance like needed an answer like immediately, because they wanted to get out of there, because insurance is paying, for all those fees and whatnot. So I'm like, dude, I was like, I want it. I said, but I don't have the money. Is there any way, like, do I have to pay it today, or like, how's that work? He's like, well, yeah. He's like, she's going to want the money right away, because they're going to take that out of the check that they cut her. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right, let me call around and call some people. I called my mom and ended up borrowing it from her. I was like, I know it's a long shot, because when she was off work during the whole shutdown thing, her unemployment never went through. So she's owed so much back pay from unemployment, and she's still waiting on it. Still, calling them and, sending paperwork and stuff like that. But anyways, I was like, I know it's probably a long shot, and it's, completely okay if you don't, I don't want you to, like, go broke or whatever. She's like, what's going on? I explained it to her. I was like, they called grandma back, and, they want this much for the car. And, I had my uncle send me pictures too. So the pictures came through and I was on the phone, and I'm like, dude, it's not even half as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I explained that to her. I'm like, I got to send you these pictures. I'm like, it literally needs like a bumper, a headlight, a grill, a hood. And I mean, theoretically, that's it. I'm like, holy crap. I can't even believe they totaled it out, to be honest with you. But, I guess town car parts are kind of hard to come by. Like, there's just not really many wrecked ones, or, not even a lot in the junkyard. And the new parts are expensive. So anyways, I sent her the pictures. She's like, yeah, I definitely, I'd love to see that thing go to you, and just pay me back whenever, no rush. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this is awesome. Thank you so much. So called my uncle back, obviously bought it. We didn't know, like, I assumed that the radiator and stuff was going to be leaking. You take a front end hit like that. He's like, she said it wasn't, but he's got this big, like, trailer and stuff. So he was like, well, I'll bring the trailer. I was like, let's try to drive it. I mean, if, they pulled it up and all that stuff and it wasn't leaking or overheating, it should be fine. It's only like a 10-minute drive across town. I was like, but, meet me up there, and then I'll follow right behind you, so nobody, if there's like a cop coming or something like that, they can't see, the front end basically being gone or all smashed up. So that's what we did. We went and picked it up. I turned the key. It fired right up. I expected, we popped the hood. The radiator, the condenser, the AC condenser in front of the radiator was bent so slightly, just had like a curve in it. And, we started it up, it fired right up, the power steering worked, I turned the wheel. It kind of like chugged for a second, like it was like, almost like it was just, I don't know, it was weird to describe, but after it kind of cleared that up for a few seconds, it ran perfectly fine. Except, like, when I would switch gears, like when I would like stop and then go to reverse, it would kind of like idle down and like chug a little bit, if that makes sense. So I was like, well, obviously there's something wrong, and, it's got to be from the crash, because this thing's only got like, and that's the thing too, the thing only has like 70-something thousand miles on it. So it is, just barely broken in, essentially. That car is not even halfway through its lifespan. So I was really excited about that, but we got it home, and if you want to follow that build, I'm not going to go too much into it here. You can check out my other channel, Brian's Garage. I'll probably tell this same story, but also I'll have footage of, the parts I've, replaced, and going to the junkyard and finding parts, stuff like that. But that's what's been going on. I'm driving home from work now. It's the 21st. Cluster business is doing great. As for the COVID, I know a lot of you guys were asking, in the comments, like, how do I feel now? In my comments, a lot of you were asking, how I was doing after COVID and stuff. Honestly, now very good. I would say like I'm like 100% symptom free. Like for a while, I had like a cough. Like you know when you eat something sugary and like your throat, you know, like your saliva gets like real thick, kind of. That's how I felt for a long time. Like I was like coughing and clearing my throat all the time. I still clear my throat a little bit more than usual, but like really nothing, you know, that is bad or like really annoys me or whatever, I guess. But so I had like a cough for a couple weeks, and then right when I went back to work, and like when COVID was really over for us, you know, like before the 2 weeks was up, the worst part was like I would get like hot flashes, and like right now, you know, I'd just be driving and then get super hot, like start sweating basically, and then, you know, go back to normal or be like freezing for a few minutes. So that was really annoying. But the worst part was I would get winded like really easily. Wearing a mask was horrible. That was the worst part, and that made me actually really nervous to go back to work, because like the few times we would have to go out and get groceries or some food or something, we'd put our masks on, and it was just like it became so hard for me to breathe. Like I felt like one of the anti-mask people. It's like, I put this mask on and I can't breathe, you know. But like I would like start like almost hyperventilating and just get so dang hot and uncomfortable. So I was really nervous about that, but that went away about not even a week after I went back to work. I don't know if maybe it's just because I hadn't worn a mask in so long, but even at the beginning it was never like that, so I don't know. But that's gone, and you know, the cough's gone. You know, I'm sleeping great at night, sleeping better than ever actually. But Shelby, her symptoms like the hot flashes and, you know, the mask issues are gone, because she had those same things too. Those are gone for her. But now she's having this issue, like she's got just this funky smell. Like she smells cigarette smoke all the time. Like it's just like stuck in her nose and it bothers her. So she's been dealing with that. You know, fortunately it seems like it's getting a little bit better, and it's easy to kind of cover it up. You know, if we spray like some perfume or cologne, or, you know, even like some Febreze in the air or something, just to like get a different scent. You know, I've smelled all our clothes. I'm like, maybe it's one of your coworkers, you know, that smokes, and they put their jacket up and it touches your jacket or something, so it's on you. And like we smelled, like I smelled my clothes, her clothes, you know, smelled the couch, like everything, just to try to like, you know, maybe there is some kind of cigarette smoke smell. We don't smoke, but you know, like angry grandmas came over, you know, she smoked, so people who smoke, you know, you smell like smoke. You know, so I was like, there's gotta be something, and I can't smell it anywhere. And it's insane, but you know, like I said, luckily it's getting a little bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. It was probably way longer than I expected. I promise I will get a cook with me up soon. We've actually been cooking a lot lately. We haven't done any, well, I'm not gonna say any, we still eat fast food occasionally, but we have cut down on fast food. Like we were eating it a lot every week, and we've cut down to like, I can't even say we have it once a week now at this point, which is really awesome. We're proud of that. I've cut down a lot on pop. My big issue is pop. I just drink way too much of it. Like I've cut down on that. I try to, you know, limit myself. Like if I'm gonna have any, you know, I'll have some like with dinner or something like that, and like that's it. You know, I'm not like drinking them at work. I used to buy like 2 or 3 of them at work, and then I'd come home and eat one or have one with food, you know, with dinner or whatever. Not doing that no more. Just down to like 1 a day, which is still a lot, but for me that's like more than half, like cut in half, so that's really awesome. I feel better, like I can literally just feel it overall, which is cool. But alright guys, next video should be up in a couple days, so I will see you then.